We are, without doubt, near a breaking point, but we are above all at the dawn of a reconfiguration of the components of the system. A reconfiguration that will enable us to take up the challenge of profitability, the challenge of reducing our carbon footprint, and develop a new form of social cohesion. What makes this new era so complex is due to the fact that all those challenges have come upon us at once and are all interconnected. Let me explain. In today's world, a manager must face, number one, paradoxical injunction every day. Volume versus value, profit versus environment, growth versus austerity, productivity versus social impact, and of course infinite resources versus constrained resources. Number two, navigate in a permacrisis world. Before, crises were evolving in sequences. Now they are piling up. Climate, geopolitics, sanitary, cyber, economic and social. The third element that adds to the complexity is the silo management of the world on the companies. Too many indicators kill performance. The more you fragment, the more you lose readability. Situations are now becoming so complex, it required in-depth analysis on problem-solving techniques. This new understanding of the problem forces us to get out of the shackles of classic business management that we have been applying for more than 30 years without any constraints on natural resources, social or environmental impact. This is what we're trying to do with E3. The first E stands for the economy, the second for environment, and the third for engagement. And how to mesh the three elements together in a global way to build a new model of performance for our businesses. In 2020, we statistically analyzed in Nexans our units one by one on the three parameters, and the conclusion is very clear. Our units that had the best economical performance were in 85% of cases virtuous on the climate part, in terms of CO2 emission, recycling, multimodal transport. They are outperforming. Even more striking, they also obtain better results on the social part. Safety, the rate of training, the feminization of management were much higher than group level. Conversely, the site in the last category, what we call the value burners, economically speaking, turned out to be planet polluters at put limited action in terms of recycling or CO2 emission. When it came to social aspect, they displayed the highest rate of short-term absenteeism, the highest number of workplace accidents, and a flagrant lack of diversity. It became clear that the problem is therefore managerial and that a good leader intuitively or by his own conviction takes those three principles into account. Everything must be interconnected and part of a global view. Let's go over the three main principles of E3. Less equal plus. Simple equation to tell you that fewer customers, fewer products generate much more profit. I know it's contrary to 30 years of economic discourse because we have been always told that we need more volume to cover fixed costs. But this was without taking into account the notion of complexity. We are used to look at direct or indirect costs, but only few managers calculate the complexity costs. This one that grew 5 times faster than all the other costs in the last 15 years. We have already proven demonstration. On all the units in Nexans that have gone through our SHIFT program, which they have seen their return on capital employed increase from 6% on average to 28% in just 3 years, while having as well a drastic reduction of their carbon footprint. The climate issue is no longer a fad. It's a requirement, a large-scale tsunami, which no company can now ignore. We have analyzed in Nexans the positioning of each of our units in an environmental logic as well. To put it simply, 25 out of 45 units generate 65% of our carbon emission, while they only represent 45% of our total profit. We are going to set carbon quota for the least virtuous unit. The goal is not to sanction, but to force the unit with a carbon constraint associated with profitability objectives to rethink the economical model. The best one already calculate the return on carbon employed of their product on their customer. Because for us, the best customer of tomorrow will remain platinum, if it's really platinum in an economical perspective, but as also platinum in an environmental perspective. Too many managers have become expert in creating KPIs of all kinds of indicators, which allow the real issue to be hidden under the rug. Indicator functional expertise have become the structural enemy of systematic accountability. The manager is always judged on the health report of his indicator, green, red flag, but no longer on the impact, the common sense, the quality of listening, and as well to embark on to have a collective approach. Employees must board a train that will take them back in time. The time before, where do we come from? What is our history of the business? The time after, where are we going? What is our purpose? How does it work? How does our work help to make the planet more sustainable? What should I tell my children about what I'm doing at work, on the importance of my role, my team, and my company? Engagement is the most important source of productivity in the company. Let us plead for the convergence of priorities. The company of tomorrow must switch to a world where the economy, the environment, and the employee engagement converge for the common good around a new performance model that combines the three elements together in a systematic way. This is the goal of E3 method that can be applied to many sectors, many companies, as it is a universal way of thinking.